If your avoidant partner went from "I've never felt this way before" to acting like you barely exist the moment you got close, this video is for you. You're sitting there wondering how someone can go from holding you like you're their whole world to disappearing like you were just a phase. And here's the brutal part most people never tell you. They didn't disappear because you were too much. They disappeared because closeness woke up a part of them that has been running from intimacy for years. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why avoidant partners vanish when things get real, what's actually happening during no contact, and how to stop making their distance a verdict on your worth. Let's start with you. You didn't imagine the connection. They really did lean in at the start. They really did text all the time. They really did say things that made you feel chosen, special, maybe even safe for the first time in a long time. And then something shifted. They got quieter. They needed more space. They got busy, stressed, confused, not ready. You started overthinking every word you sent. You started apologizing for having needs. You started shrinking yourself so you wouldn't scare them away. Right now, you might be telling yourself a story that sounds like this: if I had just been more chill, if I hadn't asked where this is going, if I didn't bring up my feelings, maybe they would still be here. I want you to take a breath. What you're feeling right now is not neediness. It's a nervous system in shock from sudden emotional loss. Your brain is frantically scanning the past, trying to find the exact moment you ruined it. Because if you can find that moment, maybe you can fix it. That panic doesn't mean you're broken. It means you attached, and attachment is not a weakness. And now let's talk about them, the avoidant partner. Avoidant attachment style doesn't usually start with "I hate relationships," but it often starts much earlier with "when I needed people most, they weren't safe, available, or consistent." So somewhere along the way, their system learned a painful rule. Depending on people hurts. I am safest when I only rely on myself. Independence becomes their armor. Emotional distance becomes their survival strategy. At the beginning of a relationship, they can actually feel open, available, even romantic. Why? Because in the early stages, there's excitement without real vulnerability. You're still a possibility, not yet a responsibility. But the moment you get close, the moment they feel your heart really leaning on them, so something deep inside them wakes up. Their nervous system doesn't say, "This is love, this is safe." It says, "This is familiar, and familiar has hurt me before." That's when deactivating strategies kick in. They start noticing your flaws more than your warmth. They tell themselves, "I'm not ready," or "This is moving too fast." They suddenly need more time alone. They might even convince themselves that you're the problem. From the outside, it looks like they went cold overnight. On the inside, it feels like their body just pulled the fire alarm. Now, here's where things get especially brutal if you lean anxious, sensitive, or deeply attached. Your system feels safest with closeness, clarity, and reassurance. Their system feels safest with space, control, and emotional distance. So you reach for them looking for regulation. They pull away looking for regulation. You text more because you feel them slipping. They respond less because they feel you closing in. You think, "If I can just explain myself better, they'll understand." They think, "If I don't get space soon, I'm going to suffocate." Neither of you is evil. Both of you are trying to feel safe in opposite directions. Now let's bring in the no contact rule. For you, no contact often feels like ripping the oxygen mask off your face. You crave them like a fix. You count the days. You check their profile, their last scene, their stories, even when you swore you wouldn't. Your body feels restless, empty, on edge. You might not sleep well. Food doesn't taste the same. For them, especially if they are strongly avoidant, no contact can feel very different. At first, it can feel like relief. The pressure is gone. The expectations are gone. They can finally breathe, or at least that's what their nervous system tells them. So they dive into work. They distract themselves. They might even start something new because new feels safer than deep. This doesn't mean they never cared. It means their way of staying safe is to shut doors before they feel out of control. Only later, sometimes weeks, sometimes months, do waves of nostalgia or curiosity about you start to appear. They remember a joke you made, a moment where they felt seen, a piece of comfort you gave them that nobody else does. Meanwhile, you've already lived through the worst of your pain. You suffered in real time. They feel it on delay. This is the brutal timing mismatch of anxious and avoidant dynamics. You feel everything now. They feel things later when you're finally starting to stand up again. Now let's talk about the hardest truth. No contact is not a magic spell to turn an avoidant into a secure, emotionally available partner. If you use no contact only to test them, to punish them, or to manipulate them into chasing you, you turn your own healing into a waiting room. You stop living. You put your life on pause. You measure your worth by whether they finally reach out. So I want to offer you a different way to see no contact. No contact is not just silence. It's a boundary. It says, I refuse to keep chasing someone whose instinct is to run from the very thing I'm offering. Selves. It's not a game. It's self-protection. It's a chance to move the question from how do I make them come back to how do I come back to myself? Because your obsession with them is not proof that they are your soulmate. It's proof that your attachment system has been shocked, abandoned, and is desperately looking for something familiar to hold on to. The work now is not to become smaller, chiller, or more numb. The work is to become safer to yourself. So what does that actually look like? First, name what's happening. Instead of saying, I'm crazy, I can't get over them, say, my attachment is activated. My nervous system is searching for safety. Second, slowly remove the things that keep reopening the wound. Mute their stories. Stop checking their last scene. Don't reread old chats every night before you sleep. This isn't about pretending they never mattered. It's about not re-injuring yourself 20 times a day. Third, give your body simple signals of safety. Breathe slowly, longer exhales than inhales. Move your body. Even a 10-minute walk is information to your brain that life goes on. And talk to one person who can hold your feelings without judging or rushing you. And finally, ask yourself some hard, loving questions. If my best friend were treated the way I was, what would I tell them? What part of me believes that love must feel like anxiety to be real? What would a relationship feel like if safety was the norm, not the reward? Because here's the truth I want to leave you with. Their avoidance is information, not a verdict. Information that says right now, this person cannot meet you at the level of emotional intimacy you need and deserve. That is painful, and it is also freeing. You deserve a relationship where someone doesn't disappear every time your love becomes real. You deserve a connection that doesn't make you feel like a burden for having a heart. If you're still here, your heart is trying to heal, even if your mind feels stuck. In the comments, tell me two things: your attachment style, if you know it, and what stage of no contact you're in right now. I'm reading your stories and using them to make more videos that speak directly to what you're going through with avoidant partners, no contact, and healing your nervous system. If this made you feel even 1% less crazy or less alone, watch my other videos on avoidant attachment and the psychology of no contact next. Their disappearance does not define your value. You are not too much. You are someone learning to protect your heart in smarter, kinder ways. Take care of yourself.